Ontario Director of Workers Unite Union. Brother, thank you.
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. I was asked to speak here today about work that our union's been doing around the Rana Plaza collapse that happened a year and 4 days ago. Last week on the anniversary, on the 24th, we had a rally and demonstration, and there were some steel workers that were there to go after one of the brands that was involved in the collapse. Their products were found in the rubble, Children's Place, and the international trade union movement has been holding these brands to account for this terrible tragedy in which 1,138 workers were killed. 2,500 have been injured and more than likely will never return to work. This whole incident has shaken the world. Working people were terribly distraught at what happened here. Many of you know the question that was going around at that time was asking about, is a t-shirt for $7 worth what happened at Rana? The brands have basically split into two divisions. One is an Accord, which has most of the European brands involved in it. The other is an American one, which is called the Alliance, which has such stalwarts as Walmart, The Gap, Children's Place that are part of this group. The basic division between the two groups is the Accord determines that there must be some form of retribution in the sense that workers need to be paid for what has terribly happened to their families, the victims, the orphans that have been left behind. No one seems to talk about the orphans at all. So the Alliance, basically, they want to avoid any type of litigation that may come up as a result of that. Nonetheless, both are working towards trying to correct the situation there, the situation being making sure that there's some form of electrical standards, making sure that buildings won't fall down, basic things that we take for granted. And that's fine, and that's great, and there's some movement there. And I understand as of April 23rd, some of the injured workers that could demonstrate that they'd lost someone in their family through DNA sampling received a whopping amount of money of $600. It's supposed to be the start of more. We'll see. But I guess the point I'm trying to get at is when this is all said and done and the buildings are there, who's going to manage the health and safety on a day-to-day basis? Where is the training for those workers? Mark Kelly has had a couple of presentations in the CBC talking about how the garment industry in Bangladesh is nothing but the Wild West. There's 5,000 different factories there. The Accord and the Alliance look after a little over 2,000 of those factories. Who's going to speak in behalf of the other ones? And the other ones are more than likely the worst places you can think of. They're not being paid attention to. So as far as our duty as international trade unionists, we have to continue to show solidarity. We have to show support for our brothers and sisters there who, being a member of a trade union there, can get you killed. Bringing it home, I noticed last week or so that the Canadian Centre for Policy Alternatives in March declared that the average duration of unemployment in Ontario has increased by more than 50% since 2009 and has maintained a steady hover at 22 weeks since 2010. The report also stated that in 2013, 32% of those who are unemployed part-time would rather be working full-time, an increase of nearly 40% since 2000. I'm a health and safety workers' comp advocate, have been for a number of years. We know in our workplaces, sometimes it's a fight even with our own union, dealing with situations that need to be corrected, not only with the employer and the inspectorate as well. Think of these other workers who have no one speaking on behalf of them, or very few activists speaking on behalf of them. We need to refocus on those, protect our own folks, and make sure that they get to come home at the end of the day safe and sound too. Thanks very much.
So, thank you, Brother Foley. And I just want to take some time. I want